Okay, our next job is to put A panels on, which means we need to work, because we've got nothing here, we need to get this edge perfect if it isn't already, which is not far off. There's quite a gap there, so we'll need to just space these possibly this way a little bit, it's quite likely. And then make sure we know exactly how many spaces we want on each of these, and that the plates are what we're going to use at the end, etc. So first thing to do is fit the door handles, I think, and then we'll start fiddling with brackets and stuff. It's useful having people with you to sort out problems. I ended up sending a video to Steve Pub Parts Hero, who's also into minis. The only sort of guy I know closely I can always ask for advice for, and he's got loads of parts. Anyway, long story. I was like, Steve, I can't work it out. Why does this catch on both sides be pulling the wrong way? You can't undo it. It goes the wrong direction, blah, 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 blah. And obviously at some point someone else has had these apart. Train! Seriously, lockdown, Saturday, no one's on it. No one's ever on it. Haven't been on it for 5 weeks. Stop running trains. Rant of the weekend. Anyway, realised that someone's obviously had this all apart at some point. These doors came to me as they were, but obviously someone had switched them round. So actually that one went this side and this one went that side. Well, they do now anyway. So now they work as they should. So that's good. Here, window winder, a couple of these little catches. I'm going to have to get another mechanism. I think I've got a spare one for that side. It's all rotted out and it's really stiff. And somehow replace these seals. I don't know if it's possible to replace them clear of the chrome or just get two of them. But that'll be on. What we'll do is I'll strip these doors down when it comes to paint to send it to Max Tack. And the doors will be off to paint, etc. anyway. I'll strip them down. When I'm stripping them down, I'll work out, okay, so I need 2 screws for that, and then I'm missing a screw for there. Oh, and I need that seal. And I get all those bits, and I'll make a list and make that order. And then when I've earned enough, I can make another order, etc. But I'll make lists as I go, as I take bits off, and I notice things are missing, or a bolt snapped. We'll be doing that. Like, there's no checker straps at the moment, for instance, or there is on one side, I think, but not the other. So that sort of little thing. Anyway, handles are on, inside and out. Now, we'll put it onto time-lapse, but I'm going to start fiddling with getting the door shut gap right along the top, along the bottom, along the left side. Then I can work out the A panel. This was welded badly already, but it is fresh, so I'm going to clean all that up and see if it's salvageable. I've just been beating on this because they're always rippled here and rippled at the top. So it's nice and smooth now, or better. So then we'll offer that up, and that gives us a good idea. As you can see at the moment, the gap's a bit tight there. So we're going to work on that. Hopefully get these A panels fitted today. But first, that's nasty. That's nice. So let's get them all fitted on. These are stainless spacers, stainless nuts and washers, and stainless sort of spreaders, plate plates. So we'll get all that on. As far as I'm on the doors, this was the only issue. I was going to cut this out, just plug weld it. Anyway, what I have done, which you've just seen, is get the edge nice and even all the way around. My only concern I had was why the door basically from here to here kicked out like that, even though when you look on the inner skin, it's straight. So you see that curve? As far as I'm aware, there's not meant to be that much curve. on the bottom edge. So I started digging and realised that instead of fixing rust, which at the time probably wouldn't have been very difficult, they fillered it with about 5mm of filler, and it's just got wider and wider and wider and actually created a curve on the door and holes. So well, it's brought me down a bit, to be honest. Don't have to find that. Thought his doors were okay. Holds many secrets, this Mini. So what we'll do is we will carry on with the goal I had today, get the doors lined up. Once I've done that, because if I change the doors I'm going to have to start all that again, I'll then have this on the workbench. We'll dig out all of this filler, which there's obviously a fair bit because you lose the outer skin line about there, and it's sort of almost smooth all the way along here. So I need to dig all that filler out. Then we might peen back the edge here. I'll then repair the outer skin and then cut this bottom section off and put a new bottom section on. That's what we'll have to do. Just this bottom section here. Might get a piece, and you can buy these bottom sections, get this piece, cut a section out, pop it in. Oh well, something else to do. Of course the other side is the same. If you're the person that did this or know them, shame on you. Deadly serious right now, shame on you. The effort it took to get the filler all pushed up in the rust, sand it all back, paint it. Why don't you just fix the rust? We are talking a lot of filler here. Look at this, it's 5, 6, 7mm thick in places. And of course it's rusted behind because you didn't fix the rust, so it's just carried on rusting and bubbled and got thicker. So I'll have to, little slot here, peen this down, cut out the bottom of this door, repair it, and then peen it back in again. Thankfully the outer skin is completely gone. It's just this bottom corner edge, and you can see how the filler continues along here. Now, it's ridiculous. What were you thinking? Other than your brain wasn't functioning at the time? Urgh! It's so annoying. Urgh! So let's just ignore that awful repair that I'm going to have to repair again. We've got the edges kind of where I want them. They're not perfect. I'm not a bodywork guy, but I'm pretty happy. I've got a keen eye. I've also got the edge along here pretty much where I want it as well. It was kind of twisted that way, sorry, so that was kind of pointing right in against the edge, so just took a little tweak. And then I've also then, in preparation, fettled this edge, which looked like it was being chewed by an angry tiger. The other side isn't so bad, but it gives you an illustration of what I'm dealing with. It's kind of all kinked in and out and been bashed in, etc. So basically these are the 3 welds that probably held the other A panel on. So we can, it's no bother to me. I'll just weld in different spots basically, and then you grind it flat and weld it over. So yeah, it's getting there, little bit by little bit. So I will fettle that edge. I've got a wing prepared for this side, an A panel, sorry. So we'll line it up with the bottom edge, square it to the door, 4 or 5 holes along there to weld in to the A post, and then gently massage the top edge in, and use this line here as well, the seam seal, to line it up too. So just got to take a little bit of a repair off the bottom there, just smooth that off to get the A panel nice and flush. A few holes into that, and we'll weld it on. think she's in. Made a little repair on that top corner just where it blown through, and a little repair on this bottom corner. It was sort of easier once it was on the car, really. It just it'd been welded badly from behind, blown through, and also I cleaned it up, left a gap. So we'll just use a little die grind to get in there to clean that up. But there's a seam seal, obviously comes down, and we'll just tie it up on the back edge. But she's pretty good. We'll put the door back on now, and then we might just beat the edge in, because as you're crimping it and finding, obviously it's just pulling in different directions. But it looks pretty good. I have to say I've never put A-panels on a Mini before, let alone any car to be honest. So this is a brand new experience to me, and obviously without having reference of other stuff, I'm working this way forward, so this has to be spot on. So yeah, we'll get the door on, we'll check I'm happy with that, and then we'll do the other side. And when I'm cleaning up the other wing, we'll just clean up those few welds, just at least on this surface, and just a little bit up here, just because I can. So that's on then. I mean, like, make it look nice with cameras and filters, but it's not great. Got a little bit of fettling to do there. And on both sides, it seems you've got like a little gap that occurs here, so a little bead of weld might happen before it goes to Max's, and he can just grind it down to get the perfect gap. It's not too bad though, not too bad. I managed to improve the way I clamp the seam over on this side using a plate of stainless steel. Down there I couldn't do it, and you can see it gets a little ripple, which then you've got to sort of beat in and beat flat. I'm sure there's a proper tool for it, haven't got it. And there's a little ripple there for some reason. I think the way it's just bending in. I don't think these are genuine panels. These though are heritage panels, which is pretty amazing. So, starting to get work on this front end. I certainly straight away noticed I haven't got enough vice grips. I basically need to clamp the panels on, then weld this back to there. This was welded on there, but it was like welded out like that, so it wasn't lined up at all. That one looks good, that side, so I'm going to leave that other than trying to clean it up. Although looking at it now, does appear to be a bit of a lip there, but we might be able to just work that in. Otherwise it's clean. There is a crease here and a crease here that I need to work on, so we'll work on those before we try and do final fits or anything. So then I'm going to try and weld a plate across here like that, and across there to this corner here to strengthen that section up. And I may, if there's space, try and run a small pipe inside here along this edge up to the top, just one on both sides, and link it in with maybe a plate in the bottom here, inside here, that gets onto the hinges. if I haven't mentioned we're going for flip front, I've got some other stainless steel ones of these, but these will be mock ones. I'll need to work out where I'm clamping it along here somewhere. So that's the first thing, is tidy this up, try and get this straight as I can, as obviously it's twisted in storage. Try and clamp it together into its position where it needs to be, weld this onto there, weld some plates across, and then work out what we need to cut out to make it fit around these items here. I've got no datums, keep on going about datums, but I suppose I've got width datums, but to be blunt, I have no idea the history of this car, how bent it is, etc. And I'm kind of going to eyeball it. I know it sounds like a terrible thing, but if it looks right, and it's probably pretty close, if I try and measure it, it probably will end up being out, because something might have to be twisted. So I'm going to eyeball it. That's the professional way to do it. Not. Sorry everyone that's pro bodywork guys. I'm going to make it look okay. That's my goal. Drive really good, but look okay.
LED bulbs